Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands.
Jake the dog
And Finn the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time. By the way, we're talking about Daft Punk today. So
the episode was
No,
rolling.
we're just gonna be reviewing childhood cartoons.
this
A music of Adventure Time.
Oh!
There's so
Coming
many
up-
songs in that show.
coming up next week.
There's a Mitski song.
There is?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Marceline sings Francis Forever at the
That is awesome.
What?
Candy Kingdom.
So are we doing cartoons next?
We could do that.
Next
Yeah,
week?
we could totally
Alright,
do that.
alright.
Cartoons
We
next
need
week.
to listen to the mystery
The-
album on a weekend.
The cop.
We have to
Yeah,
record
that's
next
true.
week. We
The copyright claims will roll in. It'll be great.
Yeah. There's
Okay,
so
so
many
Daft Punk
animated
also
things.
made an animated movie. Fun fact, using the soundtrack of Discovery. What's it called?
Interstellar.
Oh, by the way, we have a guest today. We have a guest
Way to
today.
introduce him.
This is Jack. You wanna?
Yeah, Jack. Yep.
Jack is in 11th
Jack-
grade with the homies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daft Punk expert.
Resident Daft Punk expert. That's how I managed to stay. Like I came for one episode, and lo and behold,
Daft Punk
here
expert.
I am.
Daft Punk expert.
We would have had you anyway.
You
So
guys-
today we are exploring the legendary discography of the electronic duo.
Now,
Daft
why
Punk,
are we doing that, Kai?
Because they broke up.
No.
No, yes
no.
they did. Yes they did.
What?
Yes.
Really?
2 weeks ago.
Damn.
They were they.
This is
the,
the
um,
first time I'm hearing this.
The robots are very
News to me.
the robots are very private, and they did not disclose a reason for the breakup. They have not.
They
So they're sentient enough to disband the group.
Yes, Daft Punk is in fact 2 robots.
One of them can draw, because I think he left a post-it note with the drawing of them walking away.
Yes.
French robots too.
French robots.
They're
Trust them.
French house robots.
Darn French.
Custom French robots.
Very rude.
I know.
Yes.
Just go. Ha.
They formed in 1993. Were together for 28 years. Redefined electronic music 3 times. You know, just casually.
That's the sound of my index card.
A note card of notes.
Yeah, Daft Punk supposedly remains anonymous, even though their first album has their faces on the back. But they don't disclose any private information. They just make music, and the music is awesome, and it's very electronic.
Like the Frank
and
Oceans of techno.
Yes, well, not house, techno, whatever you want to call them, electronic. Probably the most famous French electronic band in the world, I'd say. Probably.
Justice comes in close.
Probably the most influential, also. I mean, they Homework pretty much like invented house. It popularized it as a genre.
And it also like its influence. I was gonna say like the first track of LCD Sound System's first album was Daft Punk is Playing at My House.
Yeah.
And that's what really like made them blow up.
Mm-hmm.
I read somewhere that someone claimed that Daft Punk had revolutionized dance music. And in my mind first I was like, oh, choreographed dance, and they probably mean like club dance.
Yes, electronic.
But still, point still stands.
Coincidentally, LCD Sound System is my favorite electronic band, but Daft Punk is a close second. We'll
Everyone knows Daft Punk.
we'll-
I
we'll-
think literally everyone knows.
We'll cover LCD another day.
They-
Also great.
They unify all humanity.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the robots
That's
unify.
like
all.
one of those bands that almost everyone can collectively agree upon that is
Even
that is
though
good.
like a lot of their songs are totally absent of lyrics or
Yeah.
just like one
just, like,
line.
repeated lyrics,
Yeah.
But it shows how music can unite anyone. It's just like
Yeah.
the aspect of dance into it too
Mhm.
is like gets people moving, you know, and that's like one of the most unifying factors of humanity.
Daft Punk walked so that the Chainsmokers could.
Could it jog?
This just in, Mr. Waller's favorite band is the Chainsmokers.
We
Oh,
do that.
Muse, our number one Muse stan.
Yes, Muse Stan Waller. So, moving on.
Fellas,
First
let's start
album.
with the first album.
Homework, 1997, right? They formed in
Damn,
93,
he's
but
good.
they didn't release an album for 4 years, so. Right? I think they performed before they released music, right?
Before they were Daft Punk, they were a band called, they were called Darlin', named after a Beach Boys song. There we go. One bad review had called their music Daft Punky Trash. Therefore, that's when the band name was
That's a similar
created.
story to Led Zeppelin when Robert Plant was told that his band would sink like a Zeppelin made out of lead, and he renamed his band Led Zeppelin. Homework.
I got some thoughts.
I love this album. I think it's just just earth-shattering debut. I love the beats. Probably my favorite beats out of all of the Daft Punk albums. I love the it's not really drums, but it's like yes, the old Tucci.
Tucci. Tucci.
good sir.
Uses repetition in a very creative and visceral way. It's very, very danceable. It's a great album experience. Every track like flows into the other.
Nick has thoughts.
What are Nick's thoughts?
I don't think the progression's that satisfying in this album. There's not like I think the beats are great, but and like it's very repetitive, and I know that's on purpose, but I don't think it develops in like an insanely compelling way. I'm just gonna put this out there. I think this is an 8 out of 10, which is still great. I think it's a great album, but
spoiled the whole
I don't think it's as good as the other Daft Punk album I listened to.
Future Daft Punk albums are much more poppy than this. This is a electronic album through and through. Everything about this is electronic.
Apple Music classifies it as dance, but we all know Apple Music is the best at classifying
It's
genres.
a dance. It is dance. It is dance though. I think that my favorite track is actually like WPK, which is only 30 seconds. I love that.
Really?
I
Just
love
the
that. I
introduction.
love that track so much.
What about you, Jack?
Yeah, well, I think they take that idea of the repetitive music and beats, like Nick said, and then as like in future albums, they expand upon that and like add in different like instrumental
Beats? I don't know,
Yeah.
instrumentation?
and then and like expand upon that as they go on and become human.
Yes.
Out of the 2 albums that I did manage to listen to, I'm a busy person, I'm sorry. As much as I want to dedicate so much time listening to Daft Punk, I do hear
They're all an
its
hour each at least.
progression from like an album a year before to like the next album. Or a year before, I don't know. The time
speaking of
scale.
which, Daft Punk takes very, very long breaks in between albums. They take a lot of time, and in listening to them, you can really tell how refined and how much work really goes into.
Now they're taking a
going.
very, 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 very long
yeah.
break.
No, Alive 2027, guys, get hyped. It's gonna Alive 2027. It's gonna be great.
One thing they're really known for, especially Guy, which is the robot with the gold helmet.
I just realized I didn't know their names.
Guy and Thomas.
They're known for being perfectionists, so they probably like did spend the last 8 years in the like trying to make something better, but they just probably couldn't, or nothing like met their expectations, and yeah.
It's a little sad, the perfectionist lifestyle.
You know what's also a little unfortunate?
What?
I mean, I don't know if this is actually unfortunate, but their only number one wasn't just them. It was a collaboration. It was
Weeknd.
it was the Weeknd. Starboy was their only number
Which
one
was
song.
also the last song they worked on, right?
Yeah, that was the last
performance,
last thing they worked on. That song was actually written in 40 minutes. The lyrics to it, and the way it actually came about. So the Weeknd was invited by them. He flew to France, and he was in the studio with them, and I don't remember which one, but one of them was playing like a snippet they were working on off their phone, and he was like, "This is the one, like this is the hit song right here," and he was like, "Give me some time to write the lyrics." He wrote the song in 40 minutes, and then boom, they went in the studio and just started recording it, and boom, that was it.
So, do you think the Weeknd saw them with their masks off? That was very intimate.
I know, right? They had, like,
Wow.
an intimate moment in the
There
studio.
is a photo of them playing PS2 in their outfits.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Homework. I love doing homework to this album. There's very little. There's very, very little lyrics to it. It's just a great thing to like when you're doing something else, like listen to this, and it just really gets you hyped.
I listened to it while I was working out, and it was an enjoyable experience.
All right,
Yeah.
throwing that in there casually. Okay, we see you, Nick. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
not the point.
Sure.
But verdicts on this? I say 9
8,
out of 10.
No comment.
No comment.
Mr. Waller.
I mean, yeah, I'd say an 8.5.
Jack.
I'd say an 8.
8.
Yeah.
Kai is the most, the one who liked it the most.
I like this the most. Yes.
Out of 100.
Little
Yeah, 8 out of 100.
Oh.
Got him.
Okay.
fact intermission. They're like most. Their most advanced helmets that they've worn, like to carpets and whatever, they were estimated to cost around $65,000 to create, because like they could show letters and stuff on their words and stuff on their helmets, which is crazy. They're just wearing that around. But then again, like the outfits that some stars wear probably.
Something else about their equipment. There was an auction, I think, last year for their original studio equipment. I think it could have been from Homework, but it sold for millions of dollars.
Oh, you know that song in Homework, Rollin' and Scratchin'? They actually created that beat because like there was like a disconnection in their when they were performing one day, and like, wow, that's a great beat, and they used that. Also used in the film Climax in a great scene.
Do not watch Climax.
Thomas Bangalter
don't
is
do it.
actually is
yourself.
Gaspar Noé's composer for his films. The director of Climax. He composed Irreversible and Enter the Void. He made a great song called Rectum for Enter the Void. They used a frequency that actually gives you a headache. Like it makes you hurt because he wanted.
Did you know that they actually recorded about 24 songs for the movie Tron? Tron, whatever the new one is called.
Legacy.
Tron Legacy, yeah. So, I mean, it's very fitting. And they had a cameo.
Well, we can talk about that when we get there.
That movie sucks.
It does suck.
But it's very visually interesting.
And the soundtrack
And
is
the
better than the
soundtrack
movie.
is awesome.
The soundtrack
I've seen
on
the
its
movie,
own,
so
If you think that's visually interesting, have you seen the visuals for the original Tron?
It sucks. Okay.
Wow.
What, Jack?
I was just saying, like, the soundtrack on its own is great, even without the movie.
And the remixes on it too. I really love the. Yeah, I think they had just released a new one before they broke up, and people thought they were gonna like release a new album because they were putting out new material, but nope. Sorry, boys.
Yeah. It was out on like some streaming services before, but they just brought it to Spotify and Apple Music.
Let's move on to the second album, which
Discovery.
2001.
I love this one.
I own this on vinyl, by the way. $300
is.
if
Is that
anyone
the one
wants to
with the
buy
rainbow
it.
design on the
Like
letters?
the metal, the metallic. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I hated this one.
What?
Absolute awful. It's so bad. Oh my god. So I was listening to it. At the top, I would give it like a 6.5. I know the beats are supposed to be like repetitive and stuff. Oh, there were a couple songs actually. I do give Crescent Dolls actually like bops. I love that one. I don't whatever it's called. Yeah, I wrote down the name. It is not.
No.
That's the one with the rainbow lettering. Wait,
The metal and rainbow lettering.
which is the first one on the list?
No, Crescent Dolls is on that one.
Yeah.
Crescent Dolls is, I'm looking at the track list right now.
Wait, it's on Discovery?
Yeah, it is.
it's on there.
It's after Aerodynamic, I think.
Oh, you're right.
Or no, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I really like it.
There's good guitar in Aerodynamic. Like honestly, or whatever that. I don't even
What
know if
about
they
the
would pull
guitar
out a
like
real
Digital
guitar.
Love? Yeah, that's it.
Digital Love. I specifically wrote. It reminded me of Trolls, like that one character, the one that has his voice constantly on autotune. That was my immediate.
No, they actually used.
No.
They used One More Time in Troll 2. Not
wow.
Troll 2 the movie, like the oh my god. No,
Oh my God.
no, the Troll 2 like Trolls the movie too. They used One More Time.
Did I know?
Yeah.
I think they're like the other song "Too Long." It's not bad. There's actual
I love
vocals in
Too
that
Long.
song. That was actually pretty good.
Do you not like Daft Punk's vocals? Like the vocals style?
the
the robotic like distortion they put to their
No, I
vocals?
like that when they have it, but half the songs on this album had nothing, and they were like really short, and then the
like
end of it,
Harder,
it was
Better,
just
Faster,
beats.
Stronger has like, it has
Yeah, that's not on this album.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I specifically wrote Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Fucks. Like, it slaps. Okay, I'm sorry. It's so good. But the ones in between, they were just.
Moving on from that terrible
Night
opinion,
Vision is so good. It's the shortest one, I think, but like it's the coolest like.
This album
80s vibe,
actually.
I'm gonna bump it up to like a 7.8 almost. I mean, a 6.8, almost a 7 for that album.
Okay.
Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Give it a 5.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. This album actually had mixed reviews upon release.
I am the mixed review.
Yeah. Fun fact: people thought similar to Karina. They thought like it was too repetitive. It was too poppy. It wasn't like housey enough. But now it's largely regarded as Daft Punk's best album.
Really.
I agree with that.
Do you think it's best, Mr. Waller?
No, but
I
I
don't
do
think it
like
is
it.
either.
I actually looked up, so I was kind of curious, and I got a kick out of. I looked through the Pitchfork reviews for each one, and they ranged from a 1.6 to a 9.4 for the different.
What was the
albums.
1.6?
Okay.
There was the one after Discovery.
Human After All?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Says it's like the least
It is the worst album.
But they gave upon release they gave Discovery a 6.4.
See, I think then, therefore, I haven't heard any of this like opinion. Therefore, my yeah, I think it's understandable.
Maybe you need time for it to sit, like the critics did.
Yeah, maybe I'll like just keep listening to it and I'll eventually give in. You know, it just.
Maybe.
It was actually the 20th anniversary of it within the last week.
Yeah, it was. But this is probably the most poppy and danceable album they ever made, I think. Super refined. I love this album so much. Every track is just a banger. Like every track is just it shows a lot of range too. Like there's songs that just kind of like are very mellow and wavy, and then there's songs like
Yeah, Kai, when you're editing this, when you're listen to Too Long and tell me what the second half of the song, the words kind of starts turning into sounding like something else.
I think it's still just Can You Feel It? Yeah, the only lyrics are Too Long and Can You Feel It?
Yeah, I know, but like they kind of change the way they say the word too long. And I had to like double check to see if the song had changed. I don't know if you'll hear it as well, but
maybe
text me when you listen to it again tonight.
See, I do appreciate that we've got a different opinion here because we're not going to be like an echo chamber for every single episode we record, so that is nice.
I do think that some tracks are a little too repetitive on this album.
Thank you.
One More Time, I know it's like a really, really iconic track, but I think that it could be like maybe a minute shorter and it might be a little improved. But I mean, the beats are just so good. The production is so. I love the incorporation of guitars on this. Like Homework didn't really have any normal instrumentation on it, but this has guitar lines that just rip.
Everything's a lot more clean on this.
Yeah.
Like they feel like they've mastered their craft with this one, and like I do appreciate the rawness of Homework and how like, you know, it's a debut and it's fantastic for what it is, but I do like the more refined sound of it, and honestly I think it was this could just be that was my first listen, but I gave it a 10 at first, maybe a strong 9.
It's a 10.
Okay.
Okay. No, I don't think it's a 10 either. Songs like Short Circuit, I love the instrumentation, or not really, like the beats on that kind of. I mean,
I really like the Alive 2007 mix of Short Circuit and Face to Face.
I wrote vibes for that song. Just one word.
Vibes. Too Long is probably my favorite track, I think. I love Too Long a lot. But I don't think there's a single weak track on this album. I think it's all great.
It's my favorite, even though it's the shortest one.
It's kind of an outlier in the the amount of reverb it uses and how spacey it is. I feel like all the other tracks are pretty tight, and that one definitely feels a lot spacier. But I like that too.
There's also there wasn't really much lyrical writing on Homework, but there's a lot of great writing on this album.
It's minimal, but like it's good when it is there.
Like the lyrics all feel very purposeful to the like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. I mean, pretty much the only lyrics are the title, but
also everyone, if you haven't heard that from Daft Punk, you've heard it from Kanye West's Stronger.
Which
a lot of these songs have been sampled a lot. There's another one on Discovery oh man, what was it? All of their music has been sampled super heavily, so I can't remember exactly which track.
It's cool that their music is like an amalgamation of samples.
They also produced 4 songs on Kanye's album Yeezus.
Yeezus, yeah, they did. So many weird people that produced that album. I love that.
So final verdicts on this album. You listen to it again.
I did. I listened to it 3
more
times after.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I listened to it
9.5.
Okay.
And
then I guess I kind of share some of the same sentiments about it being a little too repetitive at times. So, but that doesn't take away much from it, but definitely doesn't make it like this perfect album. So 9.5.
I switched between 9 or 10 on this album, but I'm not sure. But one of those.
I can rate individual songs like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger higher. But even though I say some things are a vibe, they can make it a vibe, and then they do get boring towards the end because they go on for just a little bit too long. That's why I never reason.
Well, it's kind of the essence of dance music. A lot of the time, you're not meant to just like sit down.
You're meant to be moving.
You're meant to be like
But
moving.
I
to it.
expect like a change in like the beat, you know?
Maybe it's okay. That's just not your taste. I get that totally. Yeah.
I guess if you're jumping up and down like most club dances, then fine.
Like me working out.
Jack?
I give it a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite album from
So
them.
good.
It's a great album.
We give too many 10s on this show. I'm
Waller?
leaving.
Because we talk about a lot of good music.
We can talk about our favorite
That's
music
true.
on the
That's
podcast.
great.
Yeah, Mr. Waller?
I give it an 8.5 also. I love Homework and I love Discovery, and yeah, they're probably sitting at the same spot for me. I feel like
I
have
think they're
this
about the same
amount
also.
of affection for them.
I know a lot of people think that Discovery is like miles above Homework, but I think that they're about the same.
they're yeah.
So moving on to their most controversial album by far,
One I didn't listen to.
Human After All. I think only 3 of us have heard this.
Is that the one?
Have you heard it, Mr.
That's the one
Waller?
with like the gray,
Yeah, you've heard it.
just bland cover.
Yeah.
It looks depressing.
Any
It's like a TV.
What were the first 2 on your list?
Discovery and Random Exit, but we haven't talked about the next one. Well that's after this album.
I didn't write the title on my note card, so.
Now Human After All. Oh, you're here. Oh,
Sorry, I have to leave early. I have to go back to work.
oh.
Do you have like points for every album, like real quick?
Okay.
Okay, so Random Access Memories, it might have just been this time listening to it. I mean, like I feel like my opinion will continually change, but I had just not listened to that album in a while, and it is so freaking good, and it's so catchy, and there's so many good songs on it. So this time around, listening to the Discog, it's my favorite. I give it a 9.5.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't care as much for
Human After All.
Yeah. But overall, love the Discog, and yeah, Daft Punk.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Even though you're not dead.
rip DP. I hope that you keep making music in solo projects
Mhm.
and for movies and stuff. Okay,
We will miss you.
We'll miss you.
I'll miss you guys. Have a good
We'll see you
weekend.
soon. Have a
Yeah,
good
see
day.
it. So, Human After All was made as kind of a counterpart to Discovery because Discovery is a very, very poppy album, very, very danceable album. So they went for a more abrasive tone on this record, and I know exactly what they were going for. I don't think it works a lot.
That happens a lot with artists when they're like, I'm gonna try and break the mold, and then it doesn't turn out well.
No, this is still a very, very refined and purposeful
Or
album.
it gets discovered years later, like, oh, they were trying to break the mold, it just didn't work at that time, but
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That
did not happen for this album.
I don't think anyone's ever like, whoa, Human After All. So
It's been
good.
15 years and it's consistently like.
Oh, it's already been 50.
Yeah,
okay.
it's already been 15 years.
Yeah, Van
People-
Gogh is discovered. That's a lot of ladybugs.
That's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of damage.
That was a perfect example of how that's how my math class generally goes.
Okay, Human After All. Yeah, very abrasive. I think that some of the beats on here genuinely like grade on the ears. I don't like listening to it. But there are highlights, and I don't think it's a bad album. Jack?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like not exactly.
Sorry, I was doing ASMR and like, stop now.
Okay.
That's not very good mic etiquette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not. I think it could have been executed better. Like I like what they were going for with something different, but it didn't really like face the test of time well.
It's just like I know what you're doing, man, and
And-
it's very purposeful. It just didn't work out. Like
I feel like they recognized that after this album.
no, they played a lot of it on their tour, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, they're yeah.
And people say like it sounds better on the live album. Is that true?
Yeah, well, in the Alive 2007, it's all like remixes.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it does sound a lot better in that.
I haven't heard it, but what I'm hearing is that the general vibe is like when you have a friend in middle school who likes to draw, but like their drawings aren't like great, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. So, like, good job. I know what you're going for, and
But it's just
the execution.
But no, the craftsmanship is here. Like, and the purposefulness
the
is
skill,
here.
this drawing.
It's just I don't enjoy what you made very much.
But they still go on to produce amazing work in the future. Like that's not the end of your career.
Highlights are the title track, "Human After All," "Robot Rock," "Technologic," and "Emotion." I like those tracks.
I mean, it's not a bad album.
No.
But it's definitely not as good as their other work.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Jack, your voice sounds really good on microphone. Like out of everyone here, I think you have a mic voice.
Insults me.
You have the second best. So
Prime Time of Your Life, any of the worst. Prime Time of Your Life probably is my least favorite track. I think that the beat on this just generally is very unpleasant to hear. I don't like it.
I haven't heard it. I don't know why I said
And
that.
it's repetitive in a bad way a lot of the time, I think. But not always. You know, it's not a bad album. 6 out of 10. Moving on.
All right.
Jack, opinion?
Yeah.
6?
6.
Yep, 6. Okay, 6.
Light 6.
Light 6. Light 6.
That's what my thoughts on MCR.
No. Oh.
Well, we're covering MCR one day, okay?
I want to.
I
Yes.
think we have to bring in a resident expert. That for
Resident expert.
FDR.
FDR, what? Franklin? Oh, that was actually pretty clever. Random Access Memories, released, what, like 8 years later, I think?
Yeah.
That's the one I listened to, right? Yeah.
2017.
This is 2013.
13.
Yeah.
What? I thought it came out way more recent
Yeah.
than that.
So we waited 8 years for a new Daft Punk album and then got a breakup notice. So thanks, Daft. But it's not like you're obligated to make music or whatever. This is my favorite album of theirs.
This album definitely has a soft spot in my heart. It was multiple songs from it was on my iconic middle school playlist.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this album, as the name implies, is kind of a journey through music as an art form and how it influenced Daft Punk as artists and what the future means to them in music as a whole. And you kind of get that with the opening track, "Give Life Back to Music," where
Yeah. It completes their cycle of going from the beginning to robots in The Accident, and then back to human with tracks like Touch. It shows how they're really
human after all.
human after all.
Yeah.
Wait. You're saying they're humans?
Yes, they are humans.
No way.
That was
Well,
their coming
that was
out
before
album.
The Accident.
Not in
God.
1997. No, they're not humans. But
Okay.
then in 2013 they became humans again.
Okay, fair enough.
They kind of incorporate music of all genres on this, and they collaborate with a lot of different artists like Julian Casablanca from Casablanca from.
Also, I'm just saying
from
everyone
the
pronounces
Strokes.
Guy's name wrong. It's French.
Whatever.
It's not just like
It's
I'm not gonna attempt it, but I had my brother's like best friend in lower school. Lower school was named Guy. Like it's a French name, and his family did not pronounce it like Guy as in a random dude.
and with tracks like
That's
Instant
closer. Yeah.
with tracks like Instant Crush and Get Lucky, they're like being very poppy and like and exploring that kind of aspect of music. But then they're also exploring like more classical stuff and kind of music's evolution with tracks like Giorgio by Marauder, which where in that track they put in a click on the 24 track and
The synthesizer.
the synthesizer. Okay, it's like a spoken word thing about how a man like Giorgio like discovered the synthesizer and like used it to make the music of the future.
Low key though, I've always wanted to use a synthesizer. So
Yeah, and then that it kind of shows how it influenced Daft Punk as artists, and they got to bring on the guy that made that album on this album. And this actually did win Album of the Year at the Grammys. This was like their apex for their end of their career, which just took 8 more years. But
It's a great place to end on. And then as I was re-listening to it over the weekend, the last track, Contact, and then also on the there's like a Japanese exclusive track called Horizon. Contact is really like their end. It's like almost foreshadowing the end of the robots. And then Horizon, which is the track after that, for the Japanese exclusive album. It's just like this calm song of like after they're gone, and it just kind of foreshadows like almost as if they kind of knew where they were headed. You know, they're getting older.
There's like a story to it.
Well, the song Giorgio by Moroder actually kind of reflects what they were trying to do on this album. They're trying to make like songs from every kind of genre and then end with Songs of the Future with Contact, which is like a very space rocky kind of song.
And you made fun of the beat drop for Giorgio, but
It's
I love it. It really gave this
song.
guy a moment. He really did do something special. Come on.
Yeah.
He invented an entire instrument that uses electric like waves that can translate into like sound that we actually plug in and hear.
Like one of the biggest instruments of all today.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm actually really happy that they did that for him.
It's like a sweet tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it also works as like a great song on its own.
Yes.
It's just kind of very memeable because
Very strange.
But my favorite Daft Punk song of all time is on this album, Touch. Super emotional track.
You played Touch before, and it's really good.
I love Touch.
Oh yeah, I wrote the song kind of switched completely when I had to check if I was still listening to the same song. I wrote Creepy at first, but I really loved the intro. Loved it. And then Still Further On, still really good. So I agree with you there.
And it kind of does reflect the whole like crying out, I want to be human. I want to. This touch has made me feel too human, and it's kind of regretful.
Half of the songs on this album have features.
Yeah, and that's what allows them to kind of and that's what kind of allows them to explore all the different genres of music. Is the features. The features add to the album tremendously, I think.
You're welcome for that, audience.
Fun fact, I think
Karina shoved the mic in my face.
Paul Williams was like 70, he was 72 when he recorded that.
I'm so glad he got to do it. It makes me cry.
Get Lucky was a huge like international success. It was top charts. I mean, not quite number one, but
when did this come out?
2013.
Are you sure it's not 2016?
2013.
Yeah, 16 was their Starboy.
Oh, okay, that's the other hit that I was thinking of, because I know that they had a hit circling around in 2016. Get Lucky is like a timeless banger because it's so like it's old and new sounding at the exact same time. I feel like even in 2013, Get Lucky was already like a 2010 fad that's coming back, and everyone was ready to accept it, open arms. And I don't think there's ever going to be a time where if I hear that, I'm not going to be absolutely jamming out to it as well.
I think this also has the best lyrical writing out of any Daft Punk's work, and also probably their best vocal performances, both as the robots themselves and these features. I love the Instant Crush is like one of the best Strokes songs, and it's not even a Strokes song. So thanks, Daft Punk.
How I've listened to most of this album just because you played it, and I listened to a few of the songs last night, so I basically listened to most.
Yeah.
Like at least 75% of it.
There's lots of great danceable tracks on it too, like "Doing It Right." I love that song. "Lose Yourself to Dance."
I think "Lose Yourself" is better.
I have.
Mom Spaghetti.
Mom Spaghetti. On Lose Yourself to Dance, I'm actually kind of confused because I wrote 5 out of 10, and I'm not sure if I meant 5 out of 10 because I thought it was like worthy enough, like so good for me to like write a score, or if I just really didn't like it. But I think it's that I liked it. But I was it was pretty good. But like it was 2 a.m. writing these notes, and I would like come out of the haze of editing and like, oh, that was interesting, right?
But that's the best play.
Right back.
That's the best condition to listen to Daft Punk, really.
Yeah, it really helped.
And Pharrell is featured on this twice, and Pharrell is also
producer,
known as like one of the most legendary producers as well. He's produced like an insane amount of the hits that have been played on the radio in the past 2 decades. Also, that man does not age. He still looks like he's 20.
He does not age.
It's because he's got a good skincare routine.
Maybe he like works out.
Maybe he works out. Yeah.
Yeah, he lifts. This is also probably the least repetitive of their albums.
That's my favorite part.
It's got great choruses that change with each time, and I think that they do a great job with vocal layering on this, with like kind of different choruses layering on top of each other, and different vocal performances all just kind of colliding into this great collage of works. And super solid album, great journey. It's a very great album experience, but there's also tons of tracks you can just kind of rip and bang on your own. I listen to Touch and Cry quite a lot.
I'm a notorious.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my god.
Do you do that?
What?
Do you get the joke?
Maybe of Toledo, maybe.
Touch and Cry?
The feelings are very mixed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a notorious song skipper. That's such like, no, it's like an attention span thing for me. Like, whenever I'm given the aux, they will let me put on a playlist, but then they'll take the phone away from me because I will like be halfway through a song and think of another song and then want to switch it to that song. And that's why I hated the other one so much, because I knew I have to sit through all the other songs, but they just got real repetitive. It's like, okay, I want to hear the next one already. But this one, yeah, it wasn't as repetitive, and that's why I definitely liked it a lot more. And are we ready for some ratings?
I think this is a fat 10. I love this album.
The rating system, you're so lenient on this show.
No. Because we're talking about my favorite music on the show.
True.
This is a great album.
Who keeps letting Kai pick?
This is
Okay, next time it's not Kai's pick, because we're doing the
cartoons.
Cartoons and then mystery album.
Yeah, and
No,
then
but, like-
you always like give things we like the lowest. I hated
But
it.
but a lot of the music that, like, we did Black History Month, where you said pick your favorite Black album. So like my favorite Black album gets a 10.
Fair enough. All right, Jack.
A 10.
Yeah.
A high 8.5. Because
high
I'm
8.
going to be the hard scaler in this group.
Okay. You know what? I've only listened to 75% of it, and I wasn't insanely blown away, but I really liked it, so like 8.
I mean, their sales have skyrocketed since the announcement of their breakup album.
Okay, is this a
So
publicity
is this
stunt?
just a giant publicity
No.
stunt?
I don't think so. I don't think
No.
that there's been absolutely no information.
Oh my god, the amount of vinyls they started selling the second they announced, because all those vinyls were in stock. You could easily buy them, and then just all of a sudden, boom, disappeared.
And I think on their Spotify it went from like 10 million
To 18.
monthly to like 18, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But
And
no,
it was all Kai.
I think that was a byproduct.
I think it
I don't
was,
think
yeah.
that
Yeah.
I like if there's so many artists who've done like farewell tours, and then they went on another tour like the next.
But they didn't-
Ryan and I saw Childish Gambino on his farewell tour. And
Oh.
it was so
But they
rough.
didn't do a farewell tour. They didn't do a farewell album. They did
Yeah.
nothing. I think this is
Yeah.
just they broke up. I don't
Yeah,
think that
it's
there's
a good
anything
indicator.
to this.
Yeah.
Which I hope it's a publicity stunt. Please come
Maybe
back.
that's my hot take. You know, artists shouldn't do farewell tours
Unless they're actually going away.
unless they have to they should sign something like after this farewell tour, and I rack
Okay.
in so much money, I'm not gonna go on another
Yeah.
tour,
Oh, hot-
because it feels like not only like cheating yourself and
And your
your
fans,
integrity,
yeah,
but you're
listeners.
cheating your fans and your
Yeah.
audience.
Reaffirming a lukewarm take, Will Toledo is not attractive.
Will Toledo is the hottest man on the
Oh,
earth.
don't mention it, because he's not just gonna put so many images of him on. the
Will
screen.
Toledo, I love you so much.
And
Please,
we
please,
are,
please,
like-
please. I listen.
We're
I know
just
you're listening to
hurting
this
our
podcast
audience
right
at
now.
this point.
You're so great. Oh, please.
Jack.
No,
Jack,
she's
do
so
you-
invited. No.
Here,
Does
I
Jack
got you
think
a
Will
mic, Nick.
Toledo is attractive is the question. We need to get the final nail in the coffin. Yes!
There we go.
Jack says no.
Do not hand him back. No.
Fake news.
Stop.
Oh, you're right, you're
Don't
right.
hand it
He's
back.
banned from the mic.
No.
No. Okay.
We
look,
just have our little peanut
this
gallery.
man-
Next episode.
This man looks like somebody he looks like somebody I went to school with in middle school. Like not even. Fuck you. That uncalled for.
So you did.
No, I did. You actually. Yes, I dated Will Toledo, and you did not. Ha.
Will Toledo. Next podcast is about car seat headrest discography.
No.
Next podcast is not about car seat headrests. We're not doing anything car seat headrest related for at least a few months. They're banned.
Since we're talking about Daft Punk, let's talk about How to Leave Town. Car Seat Headrest's space rock album. It's electronic.
Stop it.
Also, they made an
Why did you
electronic
give him
album
back the
recently.
I shouldn't have
Did
done
you want to
that.
say something, Jack?
No.
Fair enough. A man of few words, but very wise.
Well, ladies and gents, I hope you have a lovely, lovely day.
Waller
No
is
more
number
car seat
5
headrest.
this week because he left early.
I think
It's because he has a job.
Kai is number 4 because he mentioned Will Toledo.
I think I'll take number 3. Jack, you can be number 2.
No, Jack's number 1. Thanks,
Oh,
buddy.
right.
You
Karina's
were
number 2.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have to get number 1 every
Yeah,
time.
I'll take 3. Kai is our second to last member, so yeah.
So
Goodbye.
next week, everyone just bring their favorite songs from cartoons.
Watch your favorite
Or
cartoons
animated
this
stuff.
week, guys.
Please, yes, indulge yourself.
I
Don't
love
be
Adventure
stressed. Watch
Time.
cartoons.
Adventure Time made me so happy as a child. I never finished it.
Class starts in 5 minutes.
All right, whatever.
I have a
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.